Hello, Mr. Haughton here, and as you can see I'm stood in the school library here at Bowerham School, and behind me is our Bowerham War Memorial for the Great War 1914 to 1919, and that's going to be the focus of our little history lesson for our Year 6s today. So we're very honoured here at our school to have this memorial. It's quite unique. And it's very special to us here at Bowerham School. So I've got a few details about the memorial, about when it was put up and why, and a few details about the people that are on it, and then I've got some questions for you at home and a just right task that I'm going to set from it as well. So I'm going to ask Mrs. Steele, who is videoing this, to come in closer, and I've got here a photograph taken on the 8th of July 1919 when the memorial was unveiled at the school. Quite a very special photograph indeed, and as you can see it is pretty much, well, it is exactly the same as you see it today. So in this photograph here we've got the headmaster, J.R. Roberts. We've got the Mayoress, Mrs. Briggs. We have the Lord Lieutenant, Lord Shuttleworth, present, with the Mayor, Councillor Briggs, as well, and a few other dignitaries as well. So, did you know that during the war, Bowerham School actually shut for a period during the war to become a military hospital, with the children transferring to Sulyard Street, which doesn't exist anymore, and it was located just off Dalton Square by the Borough pub that we have today. Anyway, going back to the memorial, and I've taken this information from the Lancaster War Memorial's website, which quoted from the report in Lancaster Guardian on the 12th of July 1919, so 4 days later. The boys of the school formed a guard of honour when Lord Lieutenant, Lord Shuttleworth, and his wife arrived together with the Mayor and the Mayoress of Lancaster. There were many proud parents there, amongst them including Mr. Ellis Williams, the father of 6 and giver of 3 brave lads. The artist responsible for several noble roles of honour, Mr. Robert H. Calvert, was an honoured guest as well, the person that put the artwork together on the memorial. Then, the brass plaque, which you can see in the photograph and which still exists today here, contains the inscription: "This memorial was given by scholars past and present, teachers past and present, and friends of the school to show their grateful appreciation of the efforts made by the old scholars in the Great War." And again, with the initials and name of the current headmaster of the time. So, the memorial itself contains the names of 578 old pupils and staff of the school who served and who were mostly volunteers, 300 of whom enlisted by October 1914, right at the beginning of the war. The first thought was for a memorial of the fallen. 88 died during the war. But so many boys had suffered hardships that it was decided to have a complete roll, and this was subscribed to by over 1,000 friends of the school. So that information, as I said, was taken from the Lancaster War Memorial's website, which is accessible to everyone today and has a lot of great information about all the memorials around Lancaster that relate to the Great War. So the memorial itself, it's an oak frame and is the work of Messrs. James Hatch and Sons of Lancaster. Mr. Calvert, as I mentioned before, designed it in the form of a Greek temple containing 5 panels. The centre panel represents the world emerging from dark storm clouds into the perfect day, as a metaphor for the war finishing. Standing in triumph upon the world is a figure of liberty, holding aloft the light of civilization. And at her feet sit justice and truth, the foundations of all liberty. The other panels show, on the left, hope is seen touching grief on the shoulder, bidding her look up to a brighter future. And on the right, Britannia, armed, directing fame's attention to the names inscribed on the roll. So as I said before, there was 578 names on these panels, 88 of whom died during the conflict. It also includes the names of 6 women who served, and I believe that they are in blue, although quite a lot of the colour has faded, as you can imagine, over time. And also, as you may know, Private Leach, for whom we have a memorial stone in our Peace Garden, who attended Bowerham School in the early 1900s. He was actually in the Manchester Regiment, and he was awarded the Victoria Cross for bravery, the details of which are as follows. On the 29th of October 1914, near Festubert, France, after their trench had been taken by the enemy and 2 attempts to recapture it had failed, 2nd Lieutenant Leach and Sergeant John Haughton, with a party of 10 volunteers, went to recover it themselves. They took the Germans by surprise with a sudden bayonet attack, and then working from traverse to traverse, they gradually succeeded in regaining possession, killing 8 of the enemy, wounding 2 and taking 16 prisoners. Our memorial stone was laid in 2016, and as I said, it's in the Peace Garden for everybody to see. And his name is right there. James Leach, VC, Victoria Cross.